Hello again, everybody. I'm going to talk a little bit about the advanced tournament rules. The first and most important thing I want to talk about as far as the advanced tournament goes is the range and continuous motion rule. Subsequent parts of this video are going to show clips from the tests we did last year about what other components of cutting skill we expect you to be able to demonstrate at this tournament. And those are going to be unnarrated clips from Iron Gate last year. So, there is a new rule for the advanced tournaments. This rule is that if you are stationary, that is if you pause while in range of the target before a cut, that cut is a failed cut. So what that means is that if I come up to my target and I'm like, all right, this is my range, cut, that's a failed cut. It doesn't matter how beautiful it was, it doesn't matter how perfect it was, I don't care. You don't actually get to do that in combat, and so I'm raising the bar for the advanced tournament. So what's going to happen is there's going to be a line on the ground like this white rope you see right here. And anytime you are ahead of that line, you must be in motion before the cut, and if you pause, you will need to move back behind the line before you can throw the next cut. So, what that means is you cannot simply, from this line, advance into range, pause, and then cut. That's a failed cut. If I stand at this line, I take a passing step, and I succeed at this cut, and then I pause here before I throw my next cut, that second cut is a failed cut. If I need to pause during my pattern, all right, and sometimes that happens both in a real fight and in the execution of the pattern, you need to back up behind the line. So, if I throw my first cut, pop, all right, and I get through, and I'm like, I need a moment before I can throw my next cut, I step back, all right, and then from here, I throw my next cut, all right. If I throw my next cut and I botch this one, all right, and I need to back up again before I can throw my next cut, all right. If I botch this one, I continuously and smoothly move into my next cut, great. Then the second cut after that botched one is a successful cut, all right. But if you mess up the cut and that causes you to pause, that's going to be a failed cut for your next action. So one of the things this requires you to do is have footwork for your cuts, which is not something we previously required. We're not being picky about the footwork though. So if you want to do passing steps, you're fine. If you want to advance, that's fine. All right. If you want to lunge, that's fine too. Any of these is acceptable as long as you start off with both feet behind the line, and every cut that has at least one of your feet in front of that line has no pause before it before you move on to the next cut. That's what we're looking for. This is setting a higher bar. It's also creating a different kind of standard than the one that exists for the cutting tournaments that Mike Edelson is running. This is part of the conceptual idea that I have that doing well in both my style of tournament and his style of tournament represents a better level of cutting skill, a higher level of cutting skill than only being able to do well in one or the other. I think the combination, the diversity of skills that exists from doing both demonstrates more of what we're looking for than specializing in one or the other. Again, this is the basic idea that we have with our fencing tournaments. Specializing to one rule set, only having one rule set, these are not good things. We want to have diverse rule sets because they require us to demonstrate a more complete skill set. Thank you. The rest of this video is going to be clips of other things we're going to want you to do and examples. Again, and as always, if you have questions, comments, feel free to contact me. Let me know ahead of time. I want to make sure that everybody feels fully prepared going into the tournament. I'm not trying to ambush or surprise anybody. That's not my objective. So ask a question in the YouTube comments, message me on Facebook, Team Alliance, start a thread, or this will be its own thread on the Alliance forum. Ask questions in the thread, whatever. I will answer questions. I want to make sure everybody knows and feels comfortable going into the tournament. Thank you.